Hey, good afternoon, friends. Today is Tuesday, October the 22nd, 2024, and the time now is 2:46 p.m. So, today I want to talk briefly or provide a brief comment or statement about the killing of Hamas's leader, Yahya Sinwar. Once again, friends, I'm going to provide a brief comment or a brief statement about the killing of Hamas's leader, Yahya Sinwar. So, friends, today you are watching the playlist series, The Trends and Headlines in Geopolitics, and this is episode 16. Once again, friends, you are watching the playlist series, The Trends and Headlines in Geopolitics, and this is episode 16. And the title for this episode is The Killing of Yahya Sinwar. Once again, the title for this episode is The Killing of Yahya Sinwar. Now, friends, by now, many of you may have already known of the killing of Yahya Sinwar. I'm not sure which side you're on, okay? Many do believe he was a terrorist. Many think that he was a hero because there are mixed feelings out there. And in fact, it seems that his killing is generating a lot of support for him on the streets in the Middle East and throughout the world. Now, friends, Yahya Sinwar is credited by Israel and the Western sources, to be the mastermind behind the October 7 attack or Hamas's incursion into Israel, which basically led to the death of over 1,000 Israeli and about 250 something of Israeli citizens being taken hostage. Now, many out there may have different perspective on the numbers, on the true nature of the numbers. However, that is not my point. My point here is to talk about the death of Yahya Sinwar and the possible implication. Now, there are videos throughout the media, okay, whether you're talking about social media or not, of Yahya Sinwar being covered in dust. Perhaps we can say that Israel released the video as a means to gain support, especially from the English-speaking world. Because when you look at the news, what the Israelis are saying, the thing that they are basically making their statements in English. But whether the video was released as a means to discredit Yahya Sinwar or not, we can say that it is not working for Israel in this case. Because throughout the war so far, Yahya Sinwar has been projected as someone who is weak, someone who is a coward. However, the video that Israel released speak otherwise. Once again, if Israel released the video as a means to discredit Yahya Sinwar, I don't think the video did that. It seems as if the video may have worked against Israel. The video may have worked in Yahya Sinwar's favor. Because throughout the internet, there are videos of people throughout the Middle East and around the world basically saying things that seems to be statements in support of Yahya Sinwar, or that seems to be painting him in a positive light. Because it shows in the video that even during his last minute or so, the video as a propaganda exercise paints him in a light of a person who had a fighting spirit, even during his last minute. It shows a man dusted up, covered up completely in dust, which basically indicate when you watch the video more, and at the point when the video zoom out, showing the entire horizon, it shows a very decrepit building, a very much destroyed environment. So the building in which Yahya Sinwar was in, where he was attacked, where he died, was a decrepit building. So in this case, if you look at it on the scale of international relations, based on what is happening today, in terms of the propaganda exercise, perhaps the killing worked on Israel's favor among Israel's allies, the powerful countries and their leaders. But on the streets of the international world, the true international community, that is excluded from the West, the conceptual or white West. The video works, I do believe, in Yahya Sinwar's favor because it shows a destroyed environment, which in this case, it can be easily said that Israel has destroyed or Israel is destroying Gaza. Now, the video being shot again in a decrepit neighborhood, and Yahya Sinwar, even though he was covered completely in dust, in debris, there were debris all over throughout the room. And at some point, he picked up what appears to be a stick or a wood or so, and he threw it at the drone. And you can hear the drone, the noise from the drone's propeller. In this case, that was a made-for-TV moment. It was a made-for-TV moment as Yahya Sinwar pulled up, okay, or picked up the stick and tried to throw it at the drone. Now, what are the implications? The killing of Yahya Sinwar, what does that imply and how would that affect us throughout the world in the international community? One, I want to start here by saying, as I've said many times, we are seeing an assassination spree, which started at least after October 7 last year, and in recent times has taken a very dangerous turn, especially given all the assassinations that have been occurring. And I've said many times that perhaps we could be experiencing an assassination pandemic. Now, if there is an assassination pandemic going on, it means that the Middle East is the epicenter of this assassination pandemic, and that Israel is basically the mastermind behind this pandemic or the leader of this assassination pandemic. This is because, yes, as much as there has been a lot of assassination going on or attempted assassinations around the world, the assassination campaigns of Israel is basically leading to lots of successes. Israel has been successfully assassinating lots of Hamas, Hezbollah, as well as Iranian leaders, higher officials in Iran. Now, this is dangerous in itself. However, given what is happening in the Middle East, the willingness of Israel to carry out assassination attempts or campaigns, okay, on its enemy, and the frequency in which or with which these assassinations are being carried out should raise eyebrows throughout the world. People should be very concerned. And this is not because, yes, Israel is assassinating its enemy or enemies, but the ease by which this is being conducted, the frequency, and it seems so normal. For me, I am desensitized to these assassinations that are going on, that Israel is carrying out. Whether these enemies are de facto enemies or whether the cause or causes of these enemies are legit, it is scary. To be honest, I have become desensitized to all these killings. I have become desensitized to the war in Ukraine. I have become desensitized to what is happening in Gaza. These things are happening so long, and they are being made to happen by powerful people and countries around the world, while the rest of us are allowed to just sit there and just watch like we are watching a movie. And what is happening, whether in Ukraine or in this case, I'm talking about a situation or the situation in the Middle East, it is like a movie. It is happening every day. We are seeing mass killing, destruction of a neighborhood, and the rest of us are weak to do something about it. Every now and then someone comes out and say, well, what is happening in the Middle East, in Gaza, it is happening because the United Nations is weak and that the United Nations doesn't have the capacity to do anything about it. Or the rest of the world is turning its back on Gaza or on Ukraine or so on. No, the rest of the world is not turning its back. The rest of the world is speaking, whether for the good or for the bad. However, the rest of the world is weak. This is because what is being allowed to happen, whether in Ukraine or in Gaza, they are happening because few countries and leaders, a handful of countries and leaders around the world are allowing these things to happen. And it shows how much the rest of the world, the 85% of the world is weak. The United States, Canada, France, the United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, all these countries are allowing what is happening now, whether in Ukraine or in Gaza to happen. It shows how much the entire Africa as a continent is weak. Asia, Latin America, the Caribbean, the Far East, South Asia, the Middle East, the Caucasus, how much the rest of the world is weak compared to a handful of countries that are making these decisions. Now, in terms of the assassination spree that is happening in the Middle East, it is like it is a game. I would not be surprised if there is a reality out there that Israeli leaders are writing names on a paper and folding up the paper, putting a bunch of papers in a jar, shaking it up, and then make a draw, pick a name. Whatever name comes up, that's the person we're going to get rid of. Perhaps that could be the truth. Okay, well, Yahya Sinwar comes up, we're going to kill him next. Who knows? Perhaps I'm just making a joke here, but who knows? It seems like this is what is happening. Honestly, these assassinations are becoming so frequent and so easy that they are so cheap. And I would not be surprised to find out in the near or far future that us as regular average citizens all over the world, that we can actually get people assassinated. Obviously, this is a joke, but even this seems more like a game to me. That any of us around the world, as I said earlier, joking here, that you can write name on a piece of paper, bubbling up the paper, shaking it while the paper is in a jar, choosing a name, and basically just call Israel. Hey, Israel, can you take out this person for me? It is so cheap. And honestly, I would not be surprised to find out in the near or far future that we could be seeing the rise of corporations whose business or businesses are solely assassination of people. Given the sophistication of technology, given the sophistication of drones, it is spectacular seeing this man being taken out, covered in dust, and we can get a live, real-time recording of the situation. Perhaps there are lots of bugs and roaches and butterflies out there that are not butterflies, but drones. Drones as small as a fly, a housefly, a butterfly. Given the sophistication of technology, given the improvement in nanotechnology, given the fact that things are becoming so small. I remember when the television used to be massive and heavy. Today we have cell phones. And to be honest, the cell phones are like small mini televisions. So just imagine how many roaches or flies are out there flying that are actually drones. Who knows? Perhaps you're in your house, in your homes doing something, but somebody is watching. This is scary. To be honest, however, I do feel like the rest of us in the world, throughout the world, need to be very concerned. Whether we are talking about our own government or foreign government, I do believe that in the future, many social and political leaders will be taken out, will be assassinated. This is given the sophistication of technologies, the willingness, and the means by which assassinations can be carried out. Look what's happening. So far, since the war started in Gaza, we've seen lots of assassination, especially recent times. We saw field assassinations around the world, whether we are talking about in the United States, in Venezuela, and so on and so on and so on. Now, friends, if you are watching, I do believe you should be concerned, and I do believe the rest of us, all of us in this world, should be very concerned. Political leaders and social leaders around the world in every country should be concerned, because I do believe in the near and far future, we could be seeing lots of successful assassinations given the sophistication of technology and the willingness of the security apparatus to carry out these assassinations. What is happening in the Middle East, especially with these assassinations in the Middle East? And in recent times, just last week, Friday, the assassination of Sinwar, Hamas's leader, Yahya Sinwar. As much as the war is a war in the Middle East, whether the war comes to an end as soon as possible or not, The manner in which these assassinations are being carried out and the videos, the recording of these assassinations, the story, the narratives behind these assassinations, I think are no less than a demonstration of a world that we could be inheriting, a world and a fate for humanity, what humanity could be experiencing in the future. They are a demonstration of the sophistication of the security apparatus and its technology, and also how tight security is becoming. Now, friends, I don't mean to scare you, and I'm not trying to be offensive. Perhaps some of the things that I've said today could be offensive, and some people could look at them as me trying to be disrespectful to them. That is not my objective. I'm a person who is part of this international community, a global citizen. I do have an opinion on the various matters of international relations, and I want to share my opinion. Perhaps I may be wrong, perhaps I may be right, but please join the conversation and teach me, and I'm open to learning. Now, friends, I'm going to end here. Please tell me what you think, and I want to hear what you think. But most importantly, I want to thank you a lot for being a member of the Echoing Voice community. And I want to thank you also, friends, a lot for watching the Echoing Voice. Peace, friends. Peace.